Welcome back to another edition of the Preps Plus Insiders. I'm Mike Finnerty of the Sure West Sports Show, joined by my partner Joe Davidson, the Sacramento Bee, and we have high school football playoff edition here for the Preps Plus Insiders. And Joe, you've been doing this a long time. What is different about the playoffs now than, say, maybe 20 years ago?
Oh, it's so much different. I'm in my 25th year of high school football coverage here at the Bee, and well, now we have better teams. We have more teams. We have great coaches and good players, and now we have the NorCal Open and the other divisions and the state championship, but it still means a lot to win a section championship. And the large school, Division I, is still the intrigue because it's the largest school, though Division II has been very good. In Division I, let's size this up a little bit, Mike.
Yep.
I think we know who the favorite is. Some outfit called the Folsom Bulldogs up Highway 50. So let's break down the contenders. And I think if you're looking for contenders, there's plenty of them. Pleasant Grove. Dre Terrell is a terrific leader. He can run with speed. He can throw over the top. He's got receivers galore. We've seen him get hammered. He gets up. He's poised. They've got an offensive line with Kyle Dixon and some of those other guys. That's a dangerous team. Coach Joe Calico's been around the block. He's been to the section finals. He's won the section championship. Yeah, absolutely. That's a contender.
Well, I say another contender would be the Oakridge Trojans. You're talking about the story with them all year long has been Ian Book, the sophomore quarterback. Great year all along. And probably a shining moment could have been last week when they came back from 42-21 down to Jesuit. Leads them to a victory. As a full team victory, though. You've got players all over that team. You've got guys like Josh Wellman in the backfield. You've got Justin Priest, a terrific receiver. You got guys all over the defensive side. It's a tough team. It's a team that could easily come out of the bomb staff for that bracket.
Exactly. Only loss was to Folsom. No shame there. 35-0. They'd love to get a rematch. And when you talk about Ian Book's poise and composure as a sophomore, you're filming that game for Sure West against Jesuit in a game that he has 5 touchdowns, and he taps you on the shoulder and goes, "Isn't this fun?" During the game. So he's got great poise.
Well, he was more relaxed than I was.
That's amazing. So good to him. And a good defense led by Thomas Malman, a linebacker, and Trent Bensley is kind of a linebacker, defensive end, tight end, scholar, leader. So they've got the pieces to really make a run.
And Jacob Sipes, can't forget about him.
Exactly. Who's a special teams ace, receiver, and then also in the secondary. Okay, yep. Franklin is a team that was 12-0 last season, graduated everybody in offense. Coach Mike Johnson has a good program going, really good. So he retools Lamar Jackson, very impressive quarterback. He's only a sophomore. Joey Banks, Robert Sanders are your stoppers on defense. Might be a year away, but don't tell the seniors that. They want to make a difference this year, and they're a legit contender in this field.
Yeah, they are. There are a few other contenders. Stag, lots of teams raving about Stag. Granite Bay. You're talking about the Division I defending state champions. Josh Neal's been a terrific quarterback for them all year long. Yes. You're trying to replace Tony Ellison and Mark Ellis, a receiver.
Both out with injuries.
Both on the offenses by injuries, out for the rest of the year. Cam Smith, perhaps one of the best, if not the best defensive player in the whole area, maybe along with Nalo Tapa, Burbank.
And Dylan Keeney as a receiver has been really good, and Brian Graber. And, they have 3 fingers up to say we want a three-peat. And this is a dangerous draw. This is a team that's lost tough games to Folsom in a season opener, lost to Delaware, no shame there. Hungry, motivated team. Will they have enough with all those injuries? Never count them out. But that's going to be a tough road if they have to run into Folsom again.
And one more thing about Granite Bay, and granted this was before the injuries, that they played the best against Folsom of any team this year, something that can't go unrecognized. So, in the end, who do you got?
I like a Delta River League rematch. Folsom to get to the section finals against Oakridge. I think it'll be a terrific showdown. It's always hard to beat a team twice within a month or so, and Oakridge wants that rematch, and Folsom is playing at a top-tier level. So I think it's a terrific showdown. If it's Folsom-Oakridge, that's who I like in Division I section finals.
I'm right there with you. I like Folsom and Oakridge as well. All right. Let's move on to Division II, and we rave about this division. There's so many good teams in Division I, don't get me wrong, but Division II, top to bottom, very balanced, because you don't have that one team like a Folsom that everyone's expecting to win. So you've got contenders. I mean, they're all over. Why don't you rattle them out?
We got
Grant.
For days. Grant is a young team.
Yeah.
Big offensive line, can run with power with DeAndre Whittington Grays, also a very good linebacker. Look at the size of that line. You got They're earth movers is what they are. This is a great dark horse, and it's not very often we say that Coach Mike Albergini has a dark horse team, but they're so young. This may be next year's champion. They can make some real noise this year.
Burbank.
How about Burbank? Absolutely. Yeah. You've got Ernest Jenkins is fast as a triple option quarterback. When he keeps it and goes, it's downhill. And then Calvin Flash Green going to Washington State, receiver, running back, defensive back, terrific speed. That's another terrific dark horse. Grant and Burbank were in Division I last year. Now they're in Division II, so you don't think that adds to the field there. And how about Rockland? We've been very impressed with Rockland.
Rockland and Rio Linda, because I look at them on that bottom half of the bracket. They can end up meeting should they win their opening round games. Rockland, Evan Holtz, terrific running back. Logan Webb, the great quarterback they have there, who showed against Del Oro he can put it down the field and hit you on the money. And then we know about their defense. Very stingy, very tough, very physical, and much like Rio Linda.
Yeah, and Rio Linda, we know the running game. Leo Scatabo, who's also really dominant as a linebacker. And they have some down linemen who will just suffocate quarterbacks. And if there's an X factor, it's Marcel Brown. Sometimes we call him Marvel Brown because he's so dynamic. He's had 200 yards plus in each of his last 2 games. Mike Morris, the old coach, will continue to run the ball with Marcel Brown and Leo Scatabo. He will live and die with that run game. Stephen Andrews had the best game of his career last week, 4 touchdowns, a total of 4 touchdowns. So look out for Rio Linda, and you can win section championships with power running, speed running, and defense.
Well, yeah, you can, because most of the teams in this Division II bracket, that's what they have. They have defenses and they have a power running game. So two teams somebody are probably running why we didn't mention Elk Grove and Del Oro.
And you're talking about those are the 2 teams we like in the
Yes,
finals. And Del Oro is Dylan Cainrath and all those players we mentioned earlier. But Elk Grove has Wadis Parker. He sat out week 10 to rest him, to recharge him. I think they got the Honda generator hooked up into his lungs and get him ready to go. Noah Letuagasa as a linebacker, defensive end, makes a lot of plays, sacks, good hands as a receiver. But Wadis Parker, Bowen, Canada, this will be, if it's a Del Oro Elk Grove match, which we predict in the finals, that's a terrific section storybook matchup.
And if there's a potential upset along the way, it could be Rockland getting there. I hate to use the word upset with Rockland, but look for Rockland to maybe be one of those teams that could maybe sneak by an Elk Grove.
All right, Division III.
Let's do it.
Your upper seeds are from out of area, American Canyon, and then Manteca, both 1 and 2 seeds. The team that I really like as a dark horse is Intercom, number 3, C.J. Spencer. He could throw, he could run. He's a good leader. This is his senior year. This is his chance. They run the wing T with veteran coach Terry Stark. I know you really like 2 quarterbacks in the field, Vista Del Lago quarterback and also Casaroles quarterback.
Well, Vista Del Lago quarterback Matt Jimison, the terrific junior quarterback who can win games for you. So if he's in this bracket, they got a chance. Certainly without the
They got to the finals last year.
Yes, they did.
And he's better this year.
Weren't as injury prone last year. They're dinged up this year for sure. And of course, Peyton Wolfley for Casaroble, terrific quarterback. His running back back there, Ron Quinn, can help him. You know, it's a good team. And I think you and I talking off camera, we're not sure exactly how it'll shake up. I think we lean Intercom on the bottom half.
Yeah, exactly. And I think our final would probably be American Canyon taking on Intercom. I think that's a good game, a good showdown there.
Well, let me ask you this. People will probably look in the bracket and go, Joe, what about Oakdale? They've been defending champions year in and year out. What about them? How good is American Canyon? I mean, these teams...
American Canyon's got a running back, Jamon Dotson, who's an 1,800-yard rusher. He's a national recruit, tailback. He's very talented. Don't play near the schedule. Down there in the 707 as our teams up here do. Oakdale has been a long-time power, but not as strong. Manteca rolled them earlier this season in the Valley Oak League. So if there's a chance for Intercom to win this title, it's now and it's this year.
Does CBS, Christian Burrs, have any chance to upset
Absolutely. With Chris Guillen at quarterback, Hayden Jones, I think it's a stronger schedule. Hayden Jones will knock you around upside down as a tight end and a linebacker. That could very much happen. That's a great dark horse in Christian Brothers. Good call.
You bet. All right. Let's move on to the smaller schools, smaller divisions now. Division 4, Central Catholic Center. What do you think?
I think that's a great final. Central Catholic's the defending champion in this section, also the defending state champion. And Center is tied Placer for the Pioneer Valley League Championship. When you talk about Center, you talk about Terrell Anderson, one of the most dynamic, complete players in all of Northern California. He can throw, He could run. He makes big plays on defense. He is an every down guru. Joe Swin, guy you like at running back. Central Catholic has got a guy named Matt Ringer who will carry 40 times a game if he needs to, and they have a terrific resume of success. I think they're going for like their 17th section championship.
Well, there are people out there going, well, what about us? Capital Christian, we have this great record. What about Placer? Two great teams. And,
Excellent.
Capital Christian, coincidentally, could have the best offensive player and could have the best defensive player or whatever, the two best players, in Nephi Lealo and Justice Shelton Mosley. I mean, they can put a team on the back. They just don't have a lot of guys in terms of numbers,
not a lot of depth.
but they've got talent. And Placer, Todd Valier and Coach
Todd
Joy
Valier can get into the end zone any number of ways, including catching the ball, running the ball. He's a good player on defense as well. You saw him just recently put on a show. And going back to Capital Christian, you look at the size of Nephi Lealo. Make him run out of the tunnel first. That's your leader because he's 6'6", 290 pounds. He looks the part in his uniform. And then Justice Shelton Mosley may be the most unstoppable guy in the field because we've seen him score on special teams, interception returns, handoffs, and they're going to have to ride those two guys to get to the championship. Wouldn't be a surprise, but you got to go with Central Catholic, which has won this thing so many times, and we just have a feeling about Center.
Yeah, I think that win over Placer was a big one for us. Division 5, I don't see any local teams in that one. Maybe a LeGrand and Mariposa squaring off. Who knows how that'll shape up, but any thoughts on that?
No, LeGrand has been the power down there. And then jump right to Division 6. I think we both agree the two heavyweights are Bradshaw Christian with Kyle Betts as a receiver, defensive back. Drew Rickards won championships there. Woodland Christian's certainly a factor as well. Some injuries there, but a feel-good story with Coach Bruce Peelstick and his wife, the principal at Woodland Christian. She is courageously battling cancer, but we like Bradshaw Christian in the finals against Woodland Christian.
We do. So that is your Division 1 through Division 6 playoff preview. Some predictions and some big picture look really at this week's playoffs and how it gets started and who to watch for. And we can't wait to get started, though. It's been a long regular season. We enjoy it, but now the second season begins. And as always, be sure to check out the Sure West Sports Show on Comcast Sportsnet California. It airs every Tuesday at 4:30, and it re-airs on Wednesdays and Thursdays. And, of course, we'll be talking playoffs on the radio show.
Yes, ESPN 1320 live from 9 to 10 a.m. So we big picture things, have interviews, look ahead. And we also have that on podcast later in the afternoon, ESPN1320.net. Our faces are more picturesque on radio.
Yes, they are. All right, that does it. Your playoff preview. We'll see you next week.